Hello again to another Agricultural Reaction. Today we will be watching the collapse of US tourism 2025 is costing billions from global journeys. Let's just jump into it. I think pretty much most of people know why is that. A lot of people from outside America doesn't want to go to America anymore for certain amounts of reasons, and
something's happening across the globe, and it's hitting the US economy in a way few expected. Tourists are disappearing, flights are going unbooked. Cities and small towns that once thrived on international visitors are suddenly silent. In 2025 alone, the US stands to lose up to $64 billion in tourism revenue. But this isn't just about travel. It's about perception, policy, and reputation, and how the world is responding to what America has become. From border tensions to political rhetoric, from travel advisories to boycotts, people around the world are quietly making a decision to stay away. In this video, we're breaking down 6 powerful reasons why international tourism to the US is collapsing, and what that means for the economy, communities, and America's place in the world. Let's start with the financial toll, because the numbers are bigger than anyone expected. Number 6, the financial toll. The financial fallout from America's tourism collapse is staggering, and it's only just beginning. According to...
That was quick. Well, yeah, so we do know what exactly is happening. It's all the Trump's administration rules and stuff like that, and it's just, I don't know, this is something that I wouldn't want to go right now either. I think the situation in the States is just really strange at the moment. I know I'm not being there, but it's just kind of off-putting to go. There's a lot of places around the world where you could go on holidays and stuff, so yeah. That's a long and strange ad, so I will be back soon. I am back, and we're just gonna go straight in and keep watching, because honestly that 64 billion, it's way much than I was thinking it would be.
According to recent government estimates, the United States is projected to lose between $64 and $100 billion in tourism-related revenue in 2025. Wow. That's not an abstract budget figure buried in a spreadsheet. That's real-world money that should have flowed into American cities, towns, and small businesses. This loss hits across multiple sectors: hotels, airlines, rental cars, restaurants, retail stores, entertainment venues, national parks, and cultural landmarks. Tourism is more than just sightseeing. It fuels an ecosystem of jobs and services. When international visitors vanish, hotel bookings drop, restaurants sit half empty, local tour guides lose work, and retail outlets miss seasonal sales that can make or break their year. Major cities like New York and Los Angeles feel the blow at scale. But it's smaller destinations, those that rely heavily on seasonal tourism, that are truly suffering. Coastal towns, border communities, and resort areas are reporting year-over-year revenue drops of up to 80%. And there's a ripple effect. With fewer tourists, less tax revenue is generated. That means cuts to local services, stalled infrastructure projects, and even layoffs in publicly funded sectors that indirectly benefit from tourism dollars. Tourism isn't just an economic contributor. It's a trust signal. It tells the world that America is open, safe, and worth visiting. When that trust breaks, the financial consequences aren't just measured in dollars lost. They're felt in livelihoods shattered. And the question now is, can it be reversed? Number 5, case study. To understand the human impact of the US tourism collapse, look no further than Point Roberts, Washington, a tiny, often overlooked town that's become a frontline casualty of economic isolation. Geographically unique, Point Roberts is a small American community located just south of Vancouver, British Columbia. The only way to reach it by land is through Canada, meaning its economy has always depended almost entirely on cross-border visitors. For decades, Canadians made up the lifeblood of the town, driving in for gas, groceries, weekend getaways, and summer homes. Now, the streets are empty, the shops are closing, the town is on life support. Local business owners report losses of 70 to 90%. Some gas stations have shuttered. Real estate agents say property sales have collapsed. And the grocery store, once bustling with cross-border customers, now struggles to justify keeping its doors open. One resident described it as a ghost town pretending not to be. What caused this sudden collapse? The answer is layered. Strained political relations, new tariffs, rising travel restrictions, and rhetoric that made many Canadians feel unwelcome or even unsafe. The result? A self-imposed boycott. Canadians have stopped coming, not because they can't, but because they won't. Point Roberts isn't just a data point, it's a warning sign. When international trust erodes, local economies unravel. For Point Roberts, a town that never made the news before, it's now a quiet symbol of how quickly international friction can translate into economic devastation right at America's doorstep. Number 4, what's driving the decline? The sharp decline in international tourism to the United States isn't the result of a single event. It's the outcome of a sustained shift in perception, policy, and political tone. At the core of the issue is the way the U.S. is now viewed by much of the world. For decades, America was seen as a symbol of opportunity, adventure, and openness. But in recent years, that image has begun to erode. Increased border scrutiny, unpredictable visa policies, and inflammatory political rhetoric have made many potential visitors think twice before booking a trip. Tariffs and trade tensions have strained relationships with key allies, particularly Canada, Europe, and parts of Asia. But beyond the economics, there's a growing sense among international travelers that the U.S. is no longer a welcoming destination. Personal insults directed at foreign leaders, harsh immigration crackdowns, and high-profile incidents involving foreign nationals being detained or mistreated have amplified that unease. Add to that a rise in security concerns, with some travelers fearing they'll be profiled, questioned, or turned away at the border, despite holding valid documents. Stories like German teenagers being detained in Hawaii for lacking hotel reservations make headlines abroad and spark national conversations about whether visiting the U.S. is worth the risk. This isn't about politics, it's about perception. And once a country is seen as unpredictable or unfriendly, the effects ripple far beyond diplomacy. People stop coming, they stop spending, and eventually they start telling others to stay away too. That's how a tourism brand unravels. Number 3. The Canadian response. Canada's response to the U.S. tourism decline has been both emotional and strategic. What began as a reaction to tariffs and political tension has grown into a quiet but widespread boycott, driven by a sense of national dignity and collective frustration. Canadian citizens, once the most frequent international visitors to the United States, are choosing to stay home or travel elsewhere. The numbers speak volumes. A 70% year-over-year drop in air travel bookings to the U.S. from Canada, along with a sharp decrease in cross-border car trips. But this isn't just individual travelers making silent choices. Institutions are taking action too. The Alberta Investment Management Corporation, AIMCO, has restricted employee travel to the U.S. for non-essential purposes, including conferences and speaking engagements. The Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario issued guidance advising staff to avoid U.S. travel, even suggesting they wipe their devices and use burner phones if travel is unavoidable. This movement is not just political, it's personal. Many Canadians feel that the rhetoric coming from U.S. leadership has turned a long-standing friendship into something adversarial. The travel boycott is their way of pushing back, of saying, we don't feel welcome, and we're not going to pretend otherwise. Number 2, the global ripple effect. While Canada's response to the U.S. tourism decline has been the most visible, it's far from isolated. Around the world, international travelers are rethinking their American itineraries, and the ripple effects are reaching global proportions. In Germany, a single high-profile incident made headlines. 2 teenage girls on a world tour were detained and deported from Hawaii for failing to book a hotel in advance. They had valid passports, no criminal records, and enough money to support their travels. But U.S. officials suspected them of potentially seeking unauthorized work. That decision sparked outrage in Germany and led to the issuance of a formal travel advisory, warning citizens to be cautious when...
I have to say I haven't heard about it, but yeah. I remember when I was going to States when I was getting married to Eric, I was actually taken on a secondary interview on the airport in Dublin, because obviously I wasn't going to lie. I was going to meet Eric and get married in Vegas, and then I was coming back because Eric was going to join me here in Ireland. So why would I lie? I was never planning to move to America. I still don't think about ever moving to America. America to me is a tourist destination and visiting Eric's family, not a place that I want to live and move there. I know the people there still there that they think about that, and lots of Americans think that America is a great country to live and move, and they actually think that it's like that. But a lot of Europeans doesn't think like that anymore. Not for decades now. So, but yeah. So basically, I was going to Las Vegas. I was asked, "Are you planning?" And I was going to visit my boyfriend, so I was straight up. They asked, "Are you planning to get married?" I said, "Yes." "Okay, we're gonna have to take you to the back." There was nothing. Nothing untoward happened to me. They still let me in because I was answering truthfully, and I was fine. I was saying, "Yeah, I have tickets here. I have tickets for coming back, and Eric is coming back in June." We were getting married in January. January is not a good time to look for a job in Ireland. It's really quiet time, so we were planning for him to come in June when summertime starts and tourism picks up and things like that. So they let me in, and I did go. I got married, and then we separated. Eric stayed there for another few months, and I came back to Ireland. So that's how it is. But in the case of those teenagers that they're doing like trip, despite the fact if they're doing like a work trip, they've probably been in multiple places before that. So I don't understand why anyone would think that they wanna work there. You know, I don't know. I don't know the situation. I didn't hear about that story, so obviously that's a different thing too.
Entering the U.S. In Mexico, long-standing diplomatic tensions and border security crackdowns have deterred many middle and upper-class travelers who once flocked to American cities for shopping, family visits, and tourism. In the UK, travel publications and consumer watchdogs have published cautionary articles on what visitors should expect when entering the US, ranging from invasive customs inspections to confusing entry requirements. Even in regions like Australia and Asia, where travel demand has traditionally been strong, airlines are seeing softening interest. Air Canada and Delta have quietly reduced US routes due to a lack of demand. What's emerging is not just a temporary dip, but a broader shift in global sentiment. America is no longer the default vacation of choice. It's becoming a riskier, less appealing option. And once a reputation shifts globally, it's incredibly hard to recover. Number 1, economic dominoes and the bigger picture. The collapse in
I'm the CFO.
And, well, I don't really have much to add right now because we're just talking and then it starts. So I'm just gonna play this ad, and I think I hear Millie meowing, so I might just let her in. I'll see you in a second. Okay, I'm back, and let's jump in. I gave Millie her medicine in the meantime, and the food, so she should be happy.
The collapse in international tourism is more than a hospitality industry crisis. It's a domino effect that touches nearly every corner of the US economy. When tourists disappear, the impact isn't limited to hotels and souvenir shops. It ripples outward, triggering losses across transportation, retail, food services, real estate, and even local government budgets. Consider this: fewer international arrivals mean fewer airport fees collected, fewer rental cars booked, and fewer meals ordered in restaurants that rely on tourist foot traffic. Employees, from hotel housekeepers and restaurant servers to tour guides and cab drivers, face reduced hours or layoffs. And small businesses, which often operate on thin margins, struggle to survive without seasonal income from travelers. On a broader scale, cities that depend on tourism-related tax revenue face budget shortfalls. That means less funding for public transportation, parks, infrastructure projects, and cultural institutions. Some municipalities have already postponed expansions or renovations due to lower than expected revenues from tourism taxes. And then there's America's brand on the global stage. Tourism is more than an economic transaction. It's cultural exchange, soft diplomacy, and relationship building. When the world stops coming, the US doesn't just lose revenue, it loses visibility, influence, and goodwill. If this trend continues, the long-term costs could be even greater than the immediate financial hit. It's not just about attracting visitors, it's about preserving America's role as a destination of choice, trust, and openness. Once lost, that reputation takes years, if not decades, to rebuild. This is more than a tourism drop. It's a global message. When the world no longer feels welcome in America, they stop coming. And when they stop coming, we don't just lose billions, we lose connection, trust, and our place in the global story. This $64 billion loss is a wake-up call. The question now isn't just how we fix it, it's whether we realize what we're losing before it's too late.
What not?
Yeah, because this is an important question. So that was nearly at the end. Another long ad. Yeah, so far I'm absolutely agreeing with them. Losing tourists, it basically gives the ripple effect. It's not only tourism industry that's gonna be affected. Pretty much everything gonna be affected. So yeah, I'll see you soon. Okay, so that was actually the end of it, and right after that the ads just went on. I'm finding I'm a bit silly now because I actually sit through all of this. It's not like I'm actually watching those ads. I'm watching something else, and I'm on the phone or checking stuff or getting something else ready and stuff like that, depending how long those ads are and stuff and things. So yeah, but basically I guess, especially with the Canadian point of view, or after Trump said that Canada should be the 51st state of America, and all those talks about like taking over and all, yeah, I understand where they're coming from. I wouldn't like to go there either. So yeah, what you think about it? Would you like to go to America as a tourist now? If you're not American, if you're American, what you think about the whole tourism trouble in America? Do you see that? Do you see that happening? Thank you very much for watching, and I see you tomorrow. Bye.